2012, the Korean singer of Psy put out the song of Gangnam Style, which brought international attention to Korean pop as it's now called, and now viewed, and is credited with helping to bring the concept of Korean music, of any kind, worldwide. From the time shortly before and after the song's release, there's actually a split consensus if he harmed Korean music internationally or helped to spread it internationally. It's incorrect to say that Psy was the single artist that helped to promote Korean music internationally. There were a few other artists prior to 2012 whom had been known internationally for their music and what would be later called K-pop. Those with in-depth knowledge of Korean music and artists at the time have corrected others in the assumption that Psy started the trend of Korean music being listened to by an international audience. YouTube had arguably helped Gangnam Style to be promoted internationally when in fact the song appeared in an album, Six Rules. Due to the song being such a trend, most didn't actually know that fact at the time. What wasn't exactly known by those who did not necessarily have experience with the Korean language were the facts that in the song there were multiple references to Gangnam District in Seoul. Gangnam Style actually referred to a lifestyle associated with the district, where people of high status live and those of lower status aren't really allowed within the area geographically. Psy compared Gangnam District in Seoul to Beverly Hills in California, as he had mentioned such a correlation himself, where people actually like the beats of the music and musical pitch of the song. But the song itself is actually criticizing social class situations in Korea. However, there was criticism due to Gangnam Style being that of a one-hit wonder in terms of a musical song or artist. Singles internationally since Gangnam Style being that of Gentleman, Hangover, Napabaji, Dade, I Love It, have all done somewhat poorly internationally when compared to the success of Gangnam Style. Poorly in the facts that domestically within Korea in the period of roughly 10 years since Gangnam Style had been released, the songs were actually in the range of success that Psy had obtained from before and shortly after Gangnam Style was released. Internationally, in terms of reputation and attention, Psy has had nothing in terms of what he had received before or since that time. While there is still focus on Psy and what he did at the time, the attention internationally disappeared, and he would never obtain that sort of international recognition again. Prior to 2012 and Psy's Gangnam Style, there were Korean musicians and artists known outside the country, mostly among the Korean diaspora in the United States as well as communities of fans in Japan, China, and Taiwan. It's been theorized that the popularity of Korean culture, food, media all needed that one instant or example to become internationally discovered and respected and brought into the mainstream consciousness of the West. Gangnam Style was that catalyst that helped to bring Korean media internationally. This was considered the Korean wave at the time, although the wave later ended. It helped to popularize and educate the world in everything Korean, despite the fact that the vast majority of people whom had listened to the song didn't actually know what they were hearing. They enjoyed the pitch of the song and beats of the music, as well as the quirky and obnoxious nature of the music video that most had seen the song associated with. Due to the extraordinary amount of attention that Gangnam Style had gotten, Psy got numerous awards from the Korean government due to the fact that the song had actually helped to popularize Korea abroad, and tourism, Korean-made goods, culture, and foreign relations all later benefited from what the song had done for the country. Psy wasn't the first Korean artist to be known internationally as mentioned, but due to Gangnam Style, he was later the most well known, even for just a short period of time.